What is going on, guys? Tyler Buckingham here, founder and owner of Buckingham Fitness. I am with Courage Jacobs, one of my athletes. He is a tight end in the off season of football. And so one of the things that we want to do in the off season is start developing his strength and speed so that by the time he gets to the season, he is primed, ready to go. He's strong as an ox. And he likes it, he knows it, and so we're just going to make him that much stronger, that much more resilient, so that when he goes into the season, he absolutely dominates. So I'm going to walk him through a warm-up. The 3 workouts we're going to be focusing on today are the box squats, because box squats are invaluable and everybody should be doing them. Anti-holds and banded twists with a band, a resistance band. And then the third one is going to be deadlifts. And we're going to do a couple variations of the deadlifts, but essentially we're going to walk through it. We're going to build this monument that much more resilient. He loves it. He loves the compliments. So guys, get ready to dive in. We're going at it. Because you're a bigger guy, we're going to want to open up your hips. We're going to want to make sure that on the field and in the weight room, you know, you're nice and open, especially getting into workouts and just going after it. So one of the things that I want us to do here, and I'll be in front so camera can see me, but then also you. So I'm going to have you come down right here. All right, good 90-90 angle. As we're stretching our hip flexors, we're going to want to be in a 90-90 angle. One thing that I want you to do, so one way that we can focus on increasing the chain of our weak links or diminishing our weak links is to use internal tension. And so what I want you to do is I want you to brace your upper quadrant. So good, yep, front and back. And then I want you to do the same with your legs, okay? And now brace that core. And then we're just gonna rock in our natural range of motion. So this is going to allow us to point out any weak links in the chain of our hip quadrant. And as he's going through this, we're going to do a dynamic stretch. So we're dynamically opening up the body. And then after about 25 to 30 seconds, then we're going to hold at the far end of our range and go into a static stretch. So let's go into that static. So right there, keep your tension, good, yep. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? Yep. So, but keeping that internal tension. I'm gonna come in and make sure you're activated. Keep this tight, tight. Squeeze those legs together. Good, and rest. So now we're gonna go to the other leg. What doing this allows us to do, again, is focusing on the weak links in the chain and making sure that he is as flexible as possible, because on the field, he's gonna be moving dynamically. He's going to be actively going after it. He's got to be in the best position possible and in the best shape possible, including flexibility, not just strength, but overall mobility with that strength, with that speed, taking him to the next level. All right, so make sure you squeeze, yep. Is that core tight? Yep, good. We want to develop that mind-muscle connection so that our body is in the best shape possible and our mind is in the best shape possible so that we have that link so that we can do this on the field subconsciously. All right, and hop on out of it. All right, how'd that feel? We got it on both sides, feel a little more loose. So guys, that's one of the stretches that we're gonna do. I don't wanna spend all day on the warm-up. Next, we're gonna go into a corrective exercise / activation drill. So what I wanna do is, I like to call this the world's greatest stretch. That's what one of my doctors introduced it to me as. So what you're gonna do here, Courage, you're going to lunge with one leg, hands come inside. We're here, good stretch through our hip flexors. Then what I want you to do is rotate towards your lunging leg, get that thoracic spine nice and stretched, but then from here you're gonna come back down, you're going to rock back, get a hamstring stretch in the lunging leg, and then you're gonna stand up, okay? So, good, bigger lunge, a little bit bigger of a lunge. There we go. Hands come inside. Yep, good. All right, left hand up towards the sky, rotate. Nice. Oh, did you see that gracefulness? He's like a swan. Imagine how he moves on the field, you know what I'm saying? All right, back on in. And actually bring it out to the side here. And so now you're going to, yep. Ooh, hamstrings are a little tight on this guy. And then you go back down and then pop yourself back up. So this allows us to bring more mobility into our thoracic spine, into our hip flexors, into this entire core so that we are able to take that to the field and move. We gotta be dynamic. We're gonna start that way in our training. Let's go the other side. So right leg, big lunge. Good, hands inside. Excellent. Good, good, good. Right hand up and over. The swan, and back on, and right hand goes to the outside. Excellent. Bringing that leg back. Nice, and back down, and popping it up. Excellent. So that's just a brief warm-up for Courage Jacobs with his football training. We're going to dive into some box squats now. Let's get it. Let's do it. All right, guys, so we are starting off with the box squat. What I want him to do here first, before we even get under the bar, before we even get any weight, is to simply just do some body weight box squats, just so I can see his technique and we can get him situated if we need to. I'm sure he's got it under control, but just in case, if there is a client out there who I can help with this, I want to be able to do that. So, Courage, can I see some box squats, sir? There we go. All right. All right, on this next one, can you widen up your stance a little bit, drive those knees out, and actually, what I want you to do is angle your feet out, bring your heels in. So bring your feet closer together. There you go, and keep that. Now try that. Just see if that helps. Is that better or worse? It's better? It's better. Excellent. And one last thing, I want to check from this angle. I was on the front, so now I want to check the back. Go ahead. Good. On this last one, I want you to go slow all the way down, and I want you to sit all the way back, so you have to brace your core as you rock back, because that's what we're going to do with the weight, okay? So go ahead. Good, good, good. Sit all the way back, all the way up. Good, and now come on. Boom. So if you notice, there his lower back didn't bend because he had to keep it straight up and down because he had to engage his core all the way back. That's going to make him that much stronger and that much more dynamic. All right, we're gonna get under the bar. We're gonna cut here real quick just to give him a break, and then we'll dive in. All right, guys, Courage is now ready to get after the bar, so we're just gonna do a couple reps here. We're warming up. We don't wanna exhaust him here. We just wanna fine tune his technique. We wanna grease the chain, make sure that it is optimal so that when we actually throw weight on and throw resistance on, we're ready to go. There we go. Make sure you sit all the way back with that butt. Go ahead. Yep, reach with the butt, reach with the butt. Good. Yep, you almost missed it. You gotta reach with that butt. All right? Good, much better, much better. Yep, all the way up, all the way up. Good. So on this next one, I want you to sit all the way up with that core, okay? Go ahead. Good. Reach, reach, reach. There we go. And up. All right, so on this next one, bring your feet a little bit closer to the bench. A little bit closer this way, good. Now I really want you to think about sitting all the way back with that butt, okay? As if I'm pulling you from here, okay? So, yep, reach, 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 reach. Reach, reach, good, good, and up. Excellent, racket. So did you notice how when he actively pulled himself back here, he was able to reinforce the glute activation and reach back so that you're seated down. As opposed to barely getting here, it's gonna put a lot of stress on the knees, whereas if you reach back here, this all activates, get that posterior chain really working, sitting back and then rising up. He's gonna be that much more explosive. He's already explosive. More explosive? Ah! All right, guys, we are set up with the bands. So one of the things that I was saying to Courage while we were off camera is I really want to reinforce core stability during the movement. So he's really going to work on activating and bracing his core, creating that internal tension, because the stronger we are internally, the stronger we will be externally, okay? That's a mind and a muscle thing. Put that in your checkbook. So, Courage, let's get on in it. All right, good. Now remember, activate those hips reach back, get that glute going. Good, good, good. Yep. Sitting all the way back, coming on up. That a bit. We're gonna do 3 reps here. Yep, good, good, good. Excellent. Good. Drive it up. Good, and rack it. There we go. So Courage is looking really good on that. Because we're doing a dynamic effort day, we're just gonna keep the weight light, but the resistance bands or chains can work in this situation as well. That is going to help him explode through. With that added resistance, we're gonna go to about 40% of his 1 rep max. That way he can work dynamically, get stronger and more explosively, work his force output a lot stronger at 40% than he can at 100%. And we want to get stronger, yeah? Right. We want to get stronger. So that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to work it. All right, guys. So we've got 135 on. This is a percentage of Courage's 1 rep max. We want to work dynamically. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 8 sets of 3 reps. I like to do 6 to 8 sets of 3 reps so that he can work on explosive performance, not worrying about the weight, but exploding with speed, with strength, with power. Courage, let's get after it. There we go. And so now Courage is gonna go into an eccentric motion here, slowly controlling all of this weight as the bands are pulling him down. Go ahead. This is going to make his glutes and his legs activate that much more. He's bracing everything and he's driving that up. That is a lot of power. Good, good, good. Yep, yep. Back, drive it up, drive it up. Good. 1 more. Good, back is flat. He's coming here, he's driving it up, he's racking it. So then we're gonna rest for 30 seconds because I want to get him in and out of this. I don't wanna overstress how much weight he is lifting. This is not a lot of weight for him. So we want to make it explosive. We wanna make it a very good exercise so that he can get on the field and dominate with more weight, with more strength, with more size, speed. This guy's a monster, good Lord. He loves it, again, he loves it. So that is what we would do with the box squats. We're gonna now move on to banded anti-holds and banded twists. All right, team, so now Courage is moving on to banded anti-holds. I'm gonna actually have him do this in a couple different ways, just to give him a little training stimulus that he doesn't know about just yet. Courage, I'm gonna show you what I want you to do here real quick. So Courage is taller than I am, but primarily I would want this chest level so that it's going straight out with your arms. You're going to find a spot where tension is getting harder, it's more taut, and then you're going to come here and hold, okay? All right. So, both hands, good? All right, how does this feel? You tense it up? Tense? All right. So, one of the things that I'm going to do, you feel how that engages more of your stabilizer muscles. This is making his core work that much stronger. He has to work that much harder. Now, Courage, can you take your hands and bring them up over your head, please? Everything in here is on fire, but he's got to catch a pass up here and bring it down. So rip it down. He has to get used to that motion. If he's gonna go up for a pass, he's gotta be able to bring it down, okay? Nice, going up, and bring it down. So, these are banded anti-holds. There are multiple variations that you can do with this. I love this for him, simply for his sport, what he's gonna do with it. We're gonna go to banded twists now. You can rest. All right, guys, so now the banded twist, I had to rearrange the camera just so that we can show the full movement of it. Courage is going to take the band. I'd like you this time to grab with the outside hand, bring left hand inside, or inside hand inside. You're here, you're gonna find the point of tension, and you're going to drive through and explode through. Now, because this is taller, that's gonna hit me in the face. It's not gonna do the same thing for him. But I want you twisting this back leg so that we can work on that rotation aspect, okay? Keep that core tight all the way through and drive it. Good? All right, find that tension. All right, and go ahead. Drive it. Nice. All right, yep. Now hold on. So let's get a more solid base. Be prepared to turn. All right, go ahead. Good. Excellent. How's it feel? There we go. There we go. Good. So rest on that. So we would just hit that a couple of times. Give him some rest. We'd probably go 5 of those, rest for 10 seconds. 5 of those on the other side, rest for 10 seconds. That way, he can get used to those quick movements and be in a position to explode more on the field, ripping that ball through and exploding, getting past the defender. Keep getting after it. Sure. All right, moving on to deadlifts. All right, guys, we are now on to the deadlifts. So, as always, with any of the workouts that we do or any of the ramp-up sets that we're gonna do, I want to work lightweight first, make sure that the movement looks sound, that it's executed pristinely, and then we move on from there. So, Courage, can I just see some deadlifts, sir? And we're going to do Romanian deadlifts for anyone out there asking. Good. Up. Excellent. One more. All right, and rest it. All right, so Courage is a very tall guy. One of the things that you will find with taller clients is that they might not be able to pull from the floor. They might not have that flexibility. Now, Courage has a lot of flexibility, but one of the things I noticed as he's pulling that weight off the ground is that he has to round his back ever so slightly. Now, we don't want to do that to our the lumbar part of our spine. So with weights on, he'll be a little bit better, but what I'm actually going to have him do is go 3 to 4 inches below his kneecap and work on some rack pulls. That way we can work on explosive strength from that position, and we can load it up with more weight. We're not going to do a lot of weight because we're working dynamically today, but this way he's going to be that much more aggressive with it. All right? Having fun here. We are now on to the rack pull deadlifts. So again, as I was saying before, had a little bit of that lumbar spine rounding. We don't want that, especially not when we're loading it up with weight. Right now, again, we're at a percentage of his max. We're at about 30% of his 1 rep max. So again, dynamic effort. We want to explode through this with perfect form, perfect execution. That way he can explode up and off the field. Courage, let me see that deadlift, sir. Bam, just like that. We're gonna do 3. He's coming down eccentrically. Look at his flat back. The hinge, he is exploding up and through the glutes. He is activating them all the way. And then one last one, exploding up. Excellent. Again, Courage is a very strong guy. He is able to pull a lot of weight, which means that that is going to translate onto the field, and the more we get him strong in the off season, the stronger he will be in season. We don't want to get him strong midway through the season, because then we're going to be depleting him for the first 6 weeks of the season. We don't want that. No, we want to get him as ready as possible when the season comes, and then we maintain his strength throughout and get him going and get those W's, because everybody loves a W. Don't worry, buddy. All right, guys, so Courage just got done with his box squats, his anti-holds, his banded twists, and the deadlifts. We just went through that real quickly for you. Obviously, the workout itself would be much longer. This is the way that we would attack the football off season, okay? Especially for his size, for his position, for his goals. That's what we would want to do. But now we also got to cool down. We got to go from the sympathetic nervous system, take it down into the parasympathetic nervous system. So one of the things that I want to have him do is go into static stretching. So remember those hip flexors we were doing? So I would love for you to do 10 seconds of just dynamic, just a little bit, and then we'll do a 30-second hold for the static stretching, all right? So whichever leg first, go ahead. Sorry, we're going to hip. No, that's good, that's good. This happens, it happens. We get miscommunications all the time. So that's a failure on my part. I will take that one. So to demonstrate, yep, we're going here. Good. Hands down at the side. Now, by squeezing his fist, he is creating irritation. That is going to make him that much stronger. We're going to find those weak links in the chain, again, as I was mentioning earlier. All right, and let's hold at this end range. Good, so he's not gonna be trying to do this whole thing. This is not going to help, this is not going to serve him. By staying within his active range of motion, he's going to create a better motor muscle gap between his passive range of motion and his active range of motion. We want to make that as small as possible so that we are as strong as we possibly can, both in passive range of motion and in active range of motion. Let's hop out of that. So typically we would go to the other side, but one of the things that we're going to do, so he's worked a little bit of everything. Primarily, we would want to target his core for stretches. We would want to target his hamstrings for the deadlifts, a little bit of the back. But one of the tricks that I have learned throughout my research is a little thing for even better parasympathetic activation. And that is coming up in just a second. Okay, guys, so as you can see, Courage is now in a 90-degree angle for his knees and his hips. Now, what this is going to allow the body to do is shut down and calm down and go back into that parasympathetic nervous system. Because what we did, we started in the parasympathetic nervous system when we started the workout. We then come up into the sympathetic, we train, and then we bring our body back down. We want to aid recovery as fast as possible. So every session that we have, the last 5 minutes is dedicated to the parasympathetic breathing 90-90. So Courage, I want you to take some deep breaths into your stomach, into the diaphragmatic breathing. All right? So as you can see, he is breathing deep in there. He's closing his eyes. He's letting everything go. And one of the other things that I'll do is I'm going to play some music, some nice soft music. Let him zone out. And then we turn the lights off. And that is the end of Courage's training today. Courage is going to get after it. We're going to keep going. We're going to get that championship. But this is how we're going to recover so that we can aid our recovery that much faster. This is just going to be that much better for him overall as an athlete throughout his training. To anyone out there that is also doing this with their clients and their athletes, keep doing it. This is great for the body, for shutting down, and for zoning out. But I need to stop talking now so that he can zone out. We'll catch you guys on the other side. What is going on, team? Thank you so much for watching. So just a little bit of a recap. So some of the things that we want to work on, especially for Courage with football, and in his position as a tight end, we want to make him as resilient as possible. Now, you can say that pretty much about any position in any sport, but for him in particular, he's going to be going across the middle. He's going to be jumping up, grabbing catches. He's going to be needing to burst past people. So one of the things that we really want to develop is his speed and strength. So I guess, two things, but primarily his explosive strength, because you got to be able to be speedy to have that strength on the field and explode past people. And so that's why we did the percentages of his 1 rep max. That's why we went after going eccentrically to develop the stabilizers to really get his glutes activated on the banded squats, on the banded box squats, and then have him explode up and through it so that his body learns how to do that. Because if we're just throwing weight on him, he's not going to get any faster. Yes, he'll get stronger, but that doesn't translate to speed necessarily. So we want to make everything we do in the gym translate to the field. And that's one of the things that we talked about in training, is making sure that we are sport specific, that we are able to take what we do in the gym and apply it, or make it an application onto the field. And so that's what we were working on today, especially core stability with the banded holds, having him come up and over. He really wasn't expecting that. And that shreds your obliques. If you haven't done it before, give it a shot. And then even just tapping the band, he has to hold that. That's a lot of tension going on already, but then you add in some instability. that's really going to overload you. And then with the deadlifts, again, for taller athletes, yeah, it might not be the best thing to have them pull from the ground. So having a rack pull like that is a great setup. You can also have him face the other way, and then you can focus on form so that he goes up in line perfectly with the squat rack. We didn't do that today just because he already had good form. But guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And if you're curious at all about the cool down phase, so again, we're parasympathetic when we start, or sometimes clients are sympathetic. We got to bring them down because we don't want them to just explode. Bring them down to parasympathetic, go up into the sympathetic, train, and then ride that wave down. Parasympathetic, let him calm. After he left, he was like, man, I feel good, and that's going to speed up the recovery process. Much love to you all. Appreciate you, and team, we'll see you at the gym.